right, so we are live. Super excited about that. So we are live today with Katarina.
Hello.
She's going to tell us about what she does and how she changes the world, one design at a time. But I just wanted to explain what Eve Within sessions are designed to do. So the Eve Within sessions are designed to bridge the gap between the conference from this year and the conference coming up next year. What happens a lot of times is that there's a lot of promotion and a lot of interaction that's taking place in the months leading up to a conference, but then it gets quiet and the magic is lost after the conference. So people aren't really talking anymore, interacting with one another, or building community. They're all just kind of waiting for the next event to happen, the following year. So my goal is to create community with different leaders and different people who are in various fields, as well as those who attended the conference, or anyone who just stumbles upon Eve within the next 365 days. They'd be able to access this content and talk about their dreams by connecting with you guys via social media and learn about fields that they may want to get into. Someone watching this may want to get into design and may want to, figure out what their major should be. So it would be helpful to get to see different people in various fields and see how they like it and see how they, what's challenging to them, etc. Through these videos. So thanks for agreeing to be in this session. I'm super excited. And yeah, so we're going to start off with, you can introduce yourself and what field you're in. How would you describe it?
Okay, well, I'm Katarina, and I'm a user experience designer, which means that I design experiences. And usually the title UX designer refers mostly to designing digital interfaces, which can be anything ranging from the apps that you use, or websites, or even something like a digital interface on an oven or an appliance.
Wow. I never thought about that digital interface on an oven. So is that like how the settings change when you press certain buttons and things like that?
Yeah, basically anywhere where there's a screen, you need a UX designer to
Wow.
make that experience easy to use.
Well, I'm definitely going to stare at my oven a little bit longer tomorrow. All right. So how would you describe your personality type?
Very easygoing, curious, and creative. I love to solve problems, which is why I love UX design, because it's all about solving problems through design and, understanding people and just trying to figure out the easiest way for people to use things.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So how do you feel that your personality ties into how you do business or how you interact with clients?
Well, being easygoing is super important, and not holding on to your ideas is especially important when it comes to user experience design. Usually anyone who starts out in a creative field such as graphic design, industrial design, UX design, it's very easy to kind of hold on to ideas that you think are really great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really important to keep reiterating and to also get feedback from clients. And, even if they say something that, maybe not what you want, you have to like step back from your ego and realize, okay, this is for the client, or, specifically with, UX design, it's about the user. So you have to keep the user in mind and kind of take away your ego.
Mm, that's a great idea. I definitely think I probably struggle with that sometimes. When you're creative and you think all your ideas are gold, it's like, why wouldn't you take them? So I think that's a really good thing. Like, one big part of being creative is being humble. Um, which is really interesting. So, what's one thing that people don't know or consider about entering the field you're in? And what I mean by that is, sometimes people jump into fields and they make certain assumptions. So what is, something that you think people might assume that isn't necessarily true about your field?
So, a couple of things. I think most people don't realize how much goes into something like an app or a website.
Mhm.
There are a lot of steps, and research is super important. And then you have to interview people. You have to develop something called personas, which is basically like a fake profile on a person, and you use that research um, to go through the next stages. And it's just a lot of steps to get to where you want to be. Also, something that I think is a really big misconception is that you have to be a visual designer
Mhm.
to go into UX. There's a lot of people who are in the UX field who don't even touch colors or fonts or anything like that. They're solely, like, their sole job may be just to figure out where everything goes, or develop the path for the user. So, for example, an information architect, which is part of UX design,
Mhm.
their job is to organize information. So they decide like which tabs are listed and how many pages there are. So things like that.
Wow, so there's a lot of different facets of user experience that people don't even think about.
Correct.
And I think that's also encouraging too, because some people might say, well, I'm not, a visual person, I'm more of an information person, or, you know, so I think that's really cool too. You can kind of find what most matches your skill set, in a way.
Yeah. You still have to be creative, but if you know you don't have like an eye for branding and colors and fonts and all of that, then you shouldn't be discouraged. Um, there's a lot of different parts of UX.
It's awesome. All right, so we just talked about skill sets and what comes easy for people. So, what comes easy for you in your field?
You mean like in terms of approaching a project?
Mm-hmm. Certain things because of your personality or because of your history will come naturally to you. Is there anything that?
I guess for me, I've always been a problem solver.
Mhm.
Like, even when I'm not even asked to solve a problem, I would always, you know, solve it. If I find something wrong, it's like I have to solve it. Um, Even like at my first job, it was at a tech company. I had a really boring job. I
Mhm.
had to like call people and collect money from them. It was terrible. I got yelled at a lot. That was fun. But I had to use the company's internal software program, and it was terrible. So I actually told my boss and was like, hey, I have a bunch of ideas to make this better. And, I did research on my own because I was using the program and I saw other people in my department use it.
Mhm.
And um, that's really what got me into user experience design. I didn't know what it was at the time, but the fact that that company allowed me to go in with ideas and they actually implemented my ideas, that was a really good feeling.
Well, that's awesome. All right. So, what's something that comes as a challenge for you, and how do you work through that? I've noticed. I think one of the most frustrating things about running a business or being a freelancer is that when you face challenges, you can't just close up shop. To face that, you have to work and handle the challenge at the same time. So, what's something that might come challenging to you?
With freelancing, yeah, like constantly finding work and developing a schedule
Mhm.
is sometimes hard. Um, Specifically with the field of UX, it's a very young field. Like, even the people who have been in it for a while, which hasn't been that long because it's such a new field. they don't really know what they're doing. It's so new, and everyone's just trying to figure out what's the best possible solution for different problems. But yeah, it's just a challenge because I have people that I talk to, I have mentors, but we're all kind of in the same boat.
That's really interesting, actually. It's rare to hear about fields where you can come in as a newcomer and interact with mentors and leaders in the field that you're in, and they're all figuring it out just as much as you are, in a way, because
Yeah.
the field is new. That's really interesting. Oh, I didn't know that about the field. So how has the field that you're in caused you to grow as a person?
I mean, to be in UX, you have to constantly be curious and you have to constantly be learning. It's just interesting because of that constant learning, and you learn a lot about people too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to really empathize with whoever is going to be using your digital product. Um, so yeah.
That's really cool. So do you feel like you have developed this ability to read into what people are saying further than maybe they might even understand? Um, or in terms of when people tell you what they want, do you feel like you're better able to repeat that back to them and get a better idea of, what they want because of your experience in the field so far?
Yeah, I feel like, and I haven't been doing it for too long, but I feel like I do understand more of what people want. If I want to do something kind of radical, I know how far to push it because I can't change something too much if people are already familiar with, doing things one way, because then they'll get confused. Like, it's okay to innovate, but people have to understand it. There has to be some connection. You can't like jump too much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just understanding people a lot better.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said about even though as a creative you may want to innovate, but make sure it's still connected to what the person actually wants and what they're comfortable with. I think that's very wise, and can be something that people miss, where they just want to run off with whatever it is. But um, so far, you've taught us about humility and the power of restraint as well. Creative, so that's really cool. Um, so this next question is really just for you. Is there anything that you would like for viewers to take away? Is there something that you've been thinking about that either relates to what we've been talking about, or if someone's sitting watching this video and they feel unqualified for the field, is there anything that you would like for viewers to take away personally?
So something that I've gone through personally is exploring different things.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a while I felt like I was kind of wandering and that I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I tried different things like writing and sewing,
Mm-hmm.
fashion design, like anything, like you name it, and I've tried it. Um, and I didn't just like, for writing, like I started a blog. So I'd really like to share with people that if you feel like you have an interest in something, go with it and put everything in it. Like put your heart into it and try it. Don't just try it for a day. Like really, really work at it. Um, and then, you'll find where you want to go. And now that I'm in UX, if you want to go into UX, like do everything you can, like read, find mentors, talk to people who are in the fields. Um, but yeah, I guess the main thing I want to say is just if you don't know what you want to do, try different things, try different internships. Um, because I know people who are wandering still and they haven't tried anything. And I feel like even though people thought I was really crazy and they thought I was really flighty and that I wasn't focused on anything, because it's like every 6 months I was changing. I was like, oh, now I'm interested in this.
Mhm.
Even though it was like hard to put up with people, you know, saying things like that, I feel like it's gotten me to where I am, and I've found something that I love, and I feel like that's super rare. So, yeah, I would just really encourage people to try different things.
That's awesome. I love that you shed a light on the wanderer and that it's not bad to do that. It's not bad to not have a concrete 5-year plan or 1-year plan or 6-month plan at that. Um, I don't think that people really think about the value of having a journey
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of embracing that wherever it brings them. And in particular, being in process or in progress, in the middle between where you might want to be or maybe where you want to be is stability. Um, I think that that's looked down upon a lot in society where, if you don't have an answer to the question, what are you going to do? Um,
Yeah.
and so I really think there's a lot of power in embracing that journey and identifying it and loving it, taking the time to do things that you love and care about, and being open to like exploring, till you find what you're interested in. So I really love that. I love that you did it and that it led you to, feel that you really like. Um, I think that's awesome. I think it's very encouraging for anybody watching who feels like, I don't know what I want to do. And they feel intimidated by family or friends or people in the community, demanding that they know now. And that's awesome. So, do you have any events or projects that you're working on that you would like to let us know about so people can further connect with you? Whether it's with UX or I think you had a new Instagram page that you started. Is there anything that you want people to connect with you on or know about?
I mean, check out my animations on Instagram. Um, and yeah, I'm working on a project right now. It's a nutrition site. And I'm actually working on it with a developer and a researcher.
Mm-hmm.
But none of my designs are live yet, so no one look at that for about a month. um, but yeah, I'd love more feedback on the animations I've been doing. I've been learning a lot about how animation, um, is really affecting user experience. Also, if anyone is interested in user experience, I would highly recommend looking into animation,
Mm-hmm.
because like we're starting to see a lot more animated interactions in digital interfaces.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So your social media channels and everything will be in the description in the bottom of the video on YouTube and whatnot. So people will be able to connect with you and see your animations or whatever it is that you're working on there. Um, Also, these are going to be posted between the e-within session are going to be posted between April 23rd and May 7th, so people will have access during that time. So I don't know, what the status of your project will be by then, but if it is available, if it is up, we'll add that to the description as well, so people can check out what you've been doing and see, you know, what a full site looks like. So I think that's really exciting.
Okay, great.
So yay! Well, I just want to say again, thank you so much for connecting with me and doing the within session. I hope that it was painless. Of
Yeah, thank you for having me.
course. Well, we're going to say bye to everybody.
Bye.